Chapter 5, Day of the Living Puddle. So here I am, kicked out of my own home, sitting in a puddle. Yes, that's right, I landed in a puddle. And to make things worse, the puddle is getting bigger, and bigger, and bigger, and bigger. Uh-oh, this is no ordinary puddle. This is the sort of puddle that will just keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger until it impuddles the whole world. Above, an artist's impression of a puddle impuddling planet Earth. But never fear, as well as making books, Terry and I are the greatest puddle-fighting duo the world has ever known. We are every puddle's worst nightmare. Terry stomps them and then I suck them up with a straw. The stomper and the sucker. Come to think of it, our story would make a great movie. Puddle Fighters, featuring Andy the Sucker and Terry the Stomper, saving the world one puddle at a time. But this is no time to be thinking about movies. This is real life. I have to send out the secret puddle-fighting call and get the old team back together. Stomper! I yell. Stomper! Stomper! It's no use, says the puddle. Nothing can stop me from impuddling your treehouse. Oh yeah, I say, removing my t-shirt to reveal my secret puddle-fighting identity. You just picked a fight with the wrong guy. I'm the sucker. You're a sucker, all right, sneers the puddle. A sucker for punishment. No, I say, not that sort of sucker. I pull a super-sized drinking straw from the quiver on my back and wave it menacingly at the puddle. You'll never drink me alive, says the puddle. That's what you think, I say. I put the straw up to my mouth and bend down. Oh, no you don't, says the puddle. It rises up like an enormous wave and crashes down on top of me. Over and over I tumble, only my straw keeps me afloat. The puddle gets me in a headlock, but then I get the puddle in a headlock. I've got you now, I say. I stick the straw into the puddle and start sucking, and 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 sucking. And the puddle starts to shrink, and shrink, and shrink, and shrink. And I keep sucking, and sucking, and sucking, and sucking, until at last the puddle is nothing but sludgy brown sludge. If only Mr. Big Shot had been filming that, it would make a much better movie than all of Terry's fake reenactments put together. Hang on, maybe he was filming it. Maybe Mr. Big Shot arranged for this whole thing to happen so he could secretly record it. I look around, but I can't see anything except a few dumb-looking cows. Never mind, I can't really think about all that right now because I've got a more urgent problem. Will you excuse me for a moment, readers? I may be some time, so do feel free to go on to the next chapter and I'll join you there. Chapter 6, Trouble in Andyland. Ah, that's better. Thanks for waiting. Now, where was I? Let me see. Ah, yes, I remember now. Mr. Big Shot kicked me out of the treehouse, and I landed in a puddle, and we had a big fight, and I sucked it up, and then I had to go to the bathroom. But what now? Where can I go? I can't hang out with Terry because he's too busy being a big shot Hollywood movie star, and I can't hang out with Jill because she's too busy helping to wrangle the animals for the movie. Hang on, I know who I can hang out with. A bunch of the funniest, smartest and best-looking guys in the world. Yep, you guessed it. I'm off to Andyland. I'll have lots of friends here because everybody is me. As the sign says, it's the Andiest place on earth. Hi, Andy, I say to the Andy guarding the gate. Who goes there, he says. It's me, I say. Who? Andy. I'm afraid I'm going to need to see some identification, he says. But you only have to look at me, I say. I look exactly like you. He shrugs. I know, he says, but we're being extra careful. We had some cows try to sneak in disguised as Andys the other day. Cows, I say. Yeah, says the guard, shaking his head. Go figure. But don't worry, we caught them, milked them, and then sent them on their way. Wow, I had no idea cows could be so sneaky, I say. Yep, says the guard, which is why I'm going to need proof that you're a true Andy and not an imposter. What sort of proof? Let me see, he says, stroking his chin. What's 2 add 2? Uh-oh. I can't even count from 1 to 10 in the right order. I've got no hope of solving a sum as difficult as this. I stutter. I don't know. I don't know either, the Andy guard says. Congratulations, Andy, you passed the test. You may enter. Oh, thanks, Andy, I say, stepping through the gate. Hi, Andy, yell a bunch of Andys coming towards me. Hi, Andys, I yell back. What's up? You are, says the Andys, lifting me into the air onto their shoulders and carrying me down the main street. I love coming to Andyland. More and more cheering Andys come out onto the street until there are so many Andys we can't go any further. They are chanting my name, Andy, Andy, Andy. Or are they just chanting their own names? It's a bit hard to tell with Andys. They're kind of excitable. The chanting is getting louder and louder. It's time for me to speak to them. The Andys lower me to the ground. Then they arrange themselves in a pyramid and help me to climb up. A cheer goes up from the crowd. Quiet down, every Andy, I say. But they don't quiet down. They're getting louder and louder and louder. We love you, Andy. Did you turn the oven off? He's so handsome. Cool. He's the greatest. Andy. Awesome. Andy. Every Andy, I yell. Shut up. No, they yell. You shut up. No, I say. You shut up. No, you shut up, they say. No, you shut up, I yell. No, you shut up, they yell back. No, I shout as loudly as I can. You shut up, infinity times more than whatever you say. The Andys are silent. You've got to hand it to me. I sure know how to shut myself up. Thank you, I say, and thanks for the parade. I love parades. We know, they yell in unison. It is good to know that I can count on Andys like you to cheer me up. We know, they yell again. You will be pleased to hear that I will be staying in Andyland until they finish filming the Treehouse movie. The Andys gasp. There's going to be a movie, they say. Yes, I say, but yay, shouts the crowd. A Treehouse movie. Oh, we're going to be movie stars. We're going to be famous. Hold on, I shout, before you get too excited. You should know one thing. We are not in it. We've been replaced by a monkey, and Terry is the star. The Andys gasp again. Terry is the star. Yeah, I say, shrugging. I'm as surprised as you are. He's not even that funny. Yes, he is, says the Andys. Terry is really funny. We love Terry. No, we don't, I say. Yes, we do, shout the Andys. Terry is cool. No, I say. He's not. Yes, he is, say the Andys. Infinity times more than whatever you say. Darn, they've got me there, but hey, who can blame them? They learned from the master. Okay, you win, I say, but it doesn't change the fact that we're not in the movie. Who cares, they shout. Terry is our favourite anyway. Let's go see the filming. Bad idea, I say. We've been banned from the set. But the Andys just ignore me. They're too busy charging up Andy Street towards the main gate. No, I yell. Wait, come back. You're supposed to be on my side. We are, they say, surging past me. But we like Terry better. Sorry. The Andys swarm out of Andyland, up the ladder, and onto the observation deck where Mr. Big Shot is filming a reenactment of the time Terry got caught in a burp gas-filled bubblegum bubble. Hey, yells Mr. Big Shot. No Andys on the set. But the Andys ignore Mr. Big Shot. They just keep climbing and climbing and climbing. Mel Gibbon is whacking golf balls at the Andys, trying to hold them back. But there are too many Andys and not enough golf balls. The observation deck, overloaded with way too many Andys, is swaying dangerously. Abandon set, yells Mr. Big Shot. Abandon set. But it's too late. There's an enormous crack. The observation deck crumbles and we all crash into the forest below. Crack! Ah! Chapter 7. Cow Duggery. All the Andys land in a big sprawling pile. But I land head first in a nearby prickle bush. The Andys are groaning and yelling and shouting as they try to untangle themselves. Some of them are angry, some are laughing, and some are crying, which is understandable. We've all had a pretty big fall. Mr. Big Shot crawls out from under the pile of Andys and stands in front of them, his hands on his hips. Which one of you clowns is the real Andy, he demands. Me. Quack. Me, they all shout. Me. Let me put it another way then, growls Mr. Big Shot, rolling up his sleeves. Nobody destroys my set and gets away with it. So, which of you wants to die first? Not me, shout the Andys. Not me. I know at this point I should come out of hiding and rescue the Andys, but hey, I don't want to die any more than they do. And it's their own fault. After all, I did try to stop them. I don't think any of them are the real Andy, says Jill, studying the Andy clones carefully. I know him pretty well, and none of these Andys look quite right. Then where is he? Says Mr. Big Shot. Probably hiding, says Mel Gibbon. He obviously put the Andys up to this to disrupt the filming. Pretty low trick to get a bunch of clueless clones to do your dirty work for you, but that's obviously the sort of person he is. Well, he'll find out what sort of person I am if he ever dares to show his face around here again, says Mr. Big Shot, pulling his cameras and camera operators from the pile. Come on, you lot, he barks. We've got to rebuild that observation deck and get this movie back on track. Let's go! As Mr. Big Shot and the crew leave, one of the Andys turns to Terry and says, Sorry we disrupted your movie, but it's not really our fault. You are a terrible observation deck builder. It's not my fault, says Terry. The deck wasn't designed to hold so many Andys. It's Andy's fault for letting you all out of Andyland. I want to yell, I didn't let them out. I tried to stop them, but they wouldn't listen. But that would mean giving away my hiding place, and all things considered, it's probably best for this Andy to stay hidden for the time being. Come on, Andys, says one of the Andys. Let's go back to Andyland. It's more fun there. And Terry, if you see Andy, can you tell him we'd prefer he doesn't visit for a while? I think we need a little break from each other. Sure, says Terry. I know exactly how you feel. And with that, the Andys start hobbling and limping their way back to Andyland. Poor Andy, says Jill. He must be really upset to have done something like this. Maybe you should go and find him, Terry, and tell him you're not mad at him. But I am mad at him, says Terry. Just because he's not in the movie, he wants to wreck it for everybody else. I know it looks like that, says Jill, as she and Terry and Mel start walking back towards the treehouse. But maybe there's another side to the story. I'm not sure we can believe everything those Andys are telling us. Or anything the real Andy tells us either, says Mel. I'm climbing out of the prickle bush when I hear voices, and mooing, and the unmistakable sound of cud chewing. A pair of trench-coated figures emerge from the trees on the other side of the clearing. They are holding microphones and recording equipment, which is kind of weird, given that they are cows. I'm going to sneak up on them and find out what they're up to. I'm pretty well camouflaged with these prickles all over me. I just need something to cover up my head. I look around. All I can see is a whole bunch of dried-up cow pats. Disgusting, but perfect. I pick one up, put it on my head and begin commando crawling towards the cows. As I get closer, I hear one of them moo. Those crazy humans don't suspect a thing. Yeah, moos the other one. They have no idea that we have secretly infiltrated their treehouse with many spy cows such as ourselves, and that we are stealing their movie, scene by scene, to make our own movie. For years the humans have milked us. Now we're milking them for their ideas. Let's see how they like it. One of the spy cows moos quietly in a hoof-held walkie-talkie. Attention, all movie idea-stealing spy cows. The film crew, director and actors are heading back into the treehouse. Stay alert and out of sight. So that's what they're up to. If there's one thing in the world I hate more than movie idea stealing, it's movie idea stealing spy cows. I've got to go and warn Mr. Big Shot right away. Then he and everybody else will see that I'm not trying to wreck the movie. Mr. Big Shot will probably be so impressed he'll rehire me and give me a starring role. There's no time to lose. I creep across the path to our front door and, when the spy cows aren't watching, slip inside. I climb the stairs and poke my head up into the first story. Eek, says Jill, a peeping cowpat. Ugh, says Terry, cowpats are disgusting. Get that cowpat off my set, barks Mr. Big Shot. I'm not a cowpat, I say. It's me, Andy. I'm just wearing a cowpat hat for camouflage. I came to warn you. There's a bunch of spy cows spying on you. They're going to steal all your ideas and make their own movie. Do you really expect us to believe such a preposterous story, says Mr. Big Shot. I know it sounds crazy, I say, but it's true. I saw them and I heard them. I really don't think cows would do that, says Jill. They are such honest, trustworthy animals. Not these ones, I say. They're spy cows. And if you don't believe me, go back through the book and see for yourself. There's a spy cow hiding on every single page. It's true, there really is. And sometimes there's even more than one. Are you out of your mind, says Mr. Big Shot. We've got a movie to make. We haven't got time to be looking at boring old books, especially ones that haven't even been written yet. Fine, I say. I was only trying to help. Let the spy cows steal your stupid movie. See if I care. Hey, Andy, says Mel Gibbon, if what you say is true, why don't you go and audition for the movie-making cows? You make a very convincing cowpat. Yeah, says Terry, you not only look the part, but you smell like one too. High five, my human, says Mel, holding up his paw. Terry high-fives him, and they both dissolve into helpless giggling. Guess I'll be going then, I say. Have fun with your new best friend, Terry. Goodbye. Forever. Chapter 8. My autobiography of my life, by me, and not Terry. I stomp down the stairs, out the front door, and fling my cowpat hat into the forest. The movie is not my problem anymore, and neither is Terry. We are done. Who needs him anyway? Not me. I can draw my own pictures, and now I can finally get started on the autobiography I've always wanted to write. I feel a hand on my shoulder and look up. It's Jill. I came to see if you were okay, she says. Yeah, I'm fine, I say. I'm quite busy, actually. I'm writing my autobiography. That's great, Andy, says Jill. But won't Terry be too busy to illustrate it? Yeah, probably, I say, but it doesn't matter because I can do it myself. Look. I hand Jill the pages. My autobiography of my life and not Terry's, by me and not Terry, with great illustrations all by me and none by Terry. Hi, my name is Andy. Duh, I'm so dumb I don't even know my name. I used to have a friend called Terry, but he's not my friend anymore because he's a stupid dumb. And his new best friend is a monkey called Mel Gibbon who stole my part in the movie. Banana! Which is why I'm writing and illustrating this autobiography of my life, by me and not Terry. Jill hands the pages back to me. So, I say, what do you think? I think the title's a bit long, she says, and it's kind of confusing. Why, I say. Well, for a start, autobiography already means that you're writing the story of your life, so there's no need to say my autobiography of my life. You're just using extra words for no reason. But I was just trying to be clear that it was about my life and not Terry's, I say. Well, that's another thing, says Jill. You say it's about you, but all you're really doing is going on about Terry, and I don't mean to be rude, but it isn't very nice, and it's a little bit boring. Yeah, I guess you're right, I say. Terry isn't very nice, and he can be quite boring. I'll make a new one. I write another version as fast as I can and give it to Jill. Is this better, I say? My autobiography by me, Andy. My autobiography begins on a dark and stormy night in a spooky old castle owned by the evil genius Dr. von Bierstein. I was awoken by the sound of mysterious noises coming from Dr. von Bierstein's underground laboratory. Even though Dr. von Bierstein had forbidden me to enter his laboratory, I decided to investigate. With only a feeble candle to light my path, I made my way down the creaky, crumbling staircase and came to a heavy wooden door with a warning sign on it that said, "Warning, do not enter or else." So, of course, I had no choice. I had to enter. I pushed the door open and came face to face with Dr. von Bierstein's most terrifying creation, the horrible, hideous, hairy Terry von Dentonstein. Stop it, Andy, says Jill. It's too scary. Yeah, I know, I say, but it's pretty exciting, isn't it? I suppose so, she says, but an autobiography is supposed to be true, not a made-up horror story. You're supposed to tell the true story of your life. I say, these autobiographies are trickier than I thought. There are a lot of rules. Just imagine you're telling a reader the true story of your life from the very beginning, says Jill. That's not so hard, is it? No, I say, picking up my pen again. I write a new version and hand it to her. The true autobiography of my life from the very beginning, by me. Andy, how did you get to be so awesome? Well, it's a fascinating story. If you're like most of my readers, you're probably wondering how I got to be so awesome. Well, it's a fascinating story. It all started when I was born. First, I was very small, but then each day I grew a little bit bigger. And bigger. And bigger, 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 and bigger. And Andy, shouts Jill, stop writing. And bigger, and bigger, and bigger. But why, I say, it's true. It may be true, says Jill, but it's not very interesting. But I tried to make it interesting and you said it had to be true. You need to make it true and interesting, says Jill. I give up, I say. Writing an autobiography is just too hard. Suddenly, animal noises start coming out of Jill's pocket. Meow, squawk, moo, cock-a-doodle-doo, honk, oink, neigh, squeak, roar, bree. Excuse me, Andy, says Jill, checking the screen of her Intergalactic Space Animal Rescue Service emergency pager. Uh-oh, she says. There's an intergalactic space animal emergency on planet Zonkatroid. A space ladybird's house is on fire and she's not home. I have to go and put it out immediately. Here comes my team now. Jill jumps aboard her space cat-powered intergalactic space animal rescue spacecraft. I'll see you later, Andy, she says. Yeah, see you, Jill, I say. But she doesn't hear me. She's already gone. I'm all alone again. Someday, this is turning out to be. I've been fired from my own movie and replaced by a monkey, abandoned by my own best friend, kicked out of my own treehouse, disowned by my own clones, and banned from Andyland, my own kingdom. And as if all that isn't bad enough, now I've failed at writing my own autobiography. Fail, 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 fail. I guess there's only one thing left to do. Yep, you guessed it. I need to remember my favourite inspiring motivational quote that always helps me when I'm feeling down and think I can't go on. Now, let me see, what is it? I think it's something about chips. When the chips are down, I'm having such a bad day. I can't even remember what my favourite inspiring motivational quote is. Is it when the chips are down and you feel like you can't go on? That's when you know you're halfway there. No, that's not it. Not even close. Maybe it's when the chips are down, the chips get going. That's more like it, but no, it's still not quite right. Hang on, I remember now. When the chips are down, go eat some chips. Yes, that's it. The chips are down, so that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to go to my high-security potato chip storage facility and eat some chips. I feel better already.